Hello, everyone. My name is Derek, and welcome back to Detroit Lions Syndicate. If this is your first time here, we talk all things about the Detroit Lions, so consider subscribing to the YouTube channel because we're trying to get to 8K by the end of the season. The Detroit Lions take on the Carolina Panthers tomorrow in what will be a must-win game for both teams. Now, due to some feedback I got last week, I decided to move myself to the left of the screen, and hopefully that will help you guys see the numbers. But the Detroit Lions have a chance to go above 500 for really the first time this season and really get into the playoffs before the Week 17 matchup comes. And for the Carolina Panthers, they are in the NFC South, and it's terrible over there, so they have a chance to win the division still. But right now, they're trying to fight for their playoff lives as well. So let's take a look at what the Detroit Lions have to deal with, what the ESPN graphic says, and break this thing down. So the Detroit Lions, according to the ESPN graphic, have a 41% chance to win the game, which is weird to me. And then the Carolina Panthers, who they did lose their last game, but they're 2 out of the last 3, and they're 2-1 in their last 3 games. We're going to see that a little later. But they got them at 58.1%. Still no respect for the Detroit Lions. Now, P.J. Walker is the passing leader, but he will not be getting the start tomorrow. That will be Sam Darnold. They traded Baker Mayfield away, as we know, and he is the passing leader with 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. But he will be, as far as I know, not getting the start tomorrow. Jared Goff, 7 interceptions, 23 touchdowns. He did add 1 touchdown pass, that long game-winning Brock Wright pass that added to his touchdown count. No interceptions now, no turnovers for Jared Goff, and I believe 6 games, which is a Detroit Lions record. If we move down to Jamal Williams, no touchdowns in the last 2 games. So I think Jamal Williams is going to see the end zone tomorrow. He is our rushing leader. Devontae Foreman, I think it's Donta Foreman is the leader for the Carolina Panthers. We know they got rid of Christian McCaffrey. And now DJ Moore, I can't believe to be a star wide receiver, you are under 700 yards at this point, 51 receptions. St. Brown, 89 receptions and almost 1,000 yards. I completely expect him to eclipse 1,000 tomorrow. If we go down to the injury report for both teams, Frank Ragnow is questionable. He will play. He mentioned that he is having some toe problems, but he's going to fight through them and help his team make this push toward the playoff. Derek Browns is questionable. Deshaun Elliott is out, concussed. I believe, he hurt his shoulder in the win against the New York Jets, so he won't be able to play. Kabinda's out, and Owosika is out as well. Andre Roberts, the former Detroit Lion, he just came off injured reserve, and Justin Lane is out for the Carolina Panthers. If we go down to the points per game, this is kind of this matchup here says that we should really win this game, but it is some things that stand out to me for the Carolina Panthers. Detroit averages 26.4 points per game to Carolina. They have a hard time mustering 20 points per game. Points allowed, they allow less at 24 to our 26. Total yards, 383 for the Detroit Lions and 304 for the Carolina Panthers. Passing yards, we have them by almost 75 yards there. They can't even get 200 yards on the ground. I think a lot of that, on the air. I think a lot of that is P.J. Walker. He was a good standout XFL quarterback, but I think he plays okay. He blanked us the last time we played them. Matt Patricia's last year put up 20 points to our 0. We average about 257 per game. Yards rushing, 126 for us, 117 for them. Yards allowed, we still have a worse defense overall at 413 to their 355. If we go down to passing yards allowed, the Detroit Lions are allowing almost 280 to their 224. So their defense is better than ours in pretty much every way. And then we have the rushing yards that are 133 for the Lions and are 130 for the Carolina Panthers. If we look at the last 5, again, you guys can see the Detroit Lions are 4-1 in their last 5 games, losing by 3 to the Buffalo Bills almost a month ago. Can you believe it's been a month already? And the Carolina Panthers, they're in a little bit of a sticky situation. I think they underestimated the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they wind up losing that game. But they are 3-2 in their last 5. They beat the Baltimore Ravens, surprisingly, a couple of weeks ago and have won. I'm sorry, they lost to the Buffalo. That's right. They lost that game, and then they've won 2 out of their last 3. So both of these teams are in a win-now situation. It's a must-win for both of them. Who do I think is going to win this game? I think the Detroit Lions are going to win this game and make it 7 of 8. But I think that we have to watch out for Brian Burns. If I'm not mistaken, he has 10.5 sacks on the season. I know he was talk about maybe the Detroit Lions trading for him before the trade deadline. We didn't go that route. I think we also have to watch out for Derek Brown as well. J.C. Horn, the standout corner, we have to kind of keep an eye on him as well. But I think the key to this game is going to be running the football. And again, no turnovers for Jared Goff. I had a thought about the Lions running game and how it has to come alive tomorrow because the winds are going to be quite fierce tomorrow. I believe they're going to be around 30 miles an hour. So passing is not going to be that great. And it might be a lot of, short dump off plays. But last week in MetLife Stadium, we saw that Jared Goff was able to put some air in that thing and get it to Jameson Williams. So I think the Lions are going to win this game. I think they're going to reestablish the ground game because it's been missing for the past 2 weeks. I think Jamal finds the end zone again. I think the offensive line is going to contain Brian Burns and Derek Brown and not hopefully keep Jared Goff up for the Jared Goff hasn't seen a sack. They haven't seen a sack in, I want to say, 10 quarters. They haven't allowed a sack. So if they can do that, establish a run, maybe create some deep balls to Chark and J-Mo, I think we win this game and move to 8-7 on the season. Now, here's the thing. Tomorrow, the Detroit Lions have a chance to be in the playoffs after the Washington Commanders game. So what we're going to do on this channel tomorrow, we are going to stream the game at 1 o'clock, about 12:30. We're going to do that. And then after we do that, we are going to, if the Lions win tomorrow, which I expect them to do, I don't know if it's going to be a close game. I think the Lions could kind of blow them out because their offense is kind of stale. Like I think it was the Giants. It was the Giants a couple weeks ago. One of these offenses that we played were kind of stale, and we knew if we got up on them, we could win. So tomorrow we're going to, if the Washington Commanders, if the Lions win that game tomorrow against the Carolina Panthers, we're going to postpone the post-game show. We're going to push that back to 7 because if the Lions win and the Commanders lose, the Lions will have the 7th seed going into Sunday, and that is something I want to talk about on the post-game show. So if that happens, we're going to go on at 7. If they lose, hopefully they don't, then we'll go on in our regular scheduled time of 4 o'clock. So let me know in the comments below, who do you think wins this game? Will it be your Detroit Lions or the Carolina Panthers? Again, both teams are trying to get in the playoffs. Both teams are still alive, and whoever loses this game is still very much alive in the playoff race. I think the Panthers would have a harder time, but they're in the NFC South, so they could technically, I think, win that division at 8 or 7-10 or something like that. I have to look and see. But who will win tomorrow's game, Detroit or Carolina? You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you tomorrow for the live stream. And as always, go Lions.